Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Community Focus here on Channel 6 TV. This is Kenny Fogle. We're going to be talking about a lot of things of entertainment tonight and several other things that may interest you. And one of the things that I've always been interested in is people that stay busy and offices that stay busy. And we're going to have one of the busiest offices in Nelson County here right now. And there's always something going on at the Extension office here in Nelson County. And Dana Parent's here with us. And Dana, I want you to... Well, first of all, I want to introduce you and thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you coming. And I know I work in the Civic Center, so that's one of the reasons I know how much goes on there, because a lot of people may not know what all the different things. I mean, we know about 4-H and right. Different things like that. And I know when I go in the building, I think I walked in the other day and it smelled like lasagna. So I'm not exactly sure what was cooking over there, but there's always something going on in your office. And I suspect you're a little bit of the reason it stays pretty busy.
I am 1/6 of the reason it stays so busy, I think. Our office, a lot of people don't know about the things that our office does. Most people know 4-H, which is a big part of our office. We actually have 2 4-H agents here in Nelson County because we do have such an active 4-H club, which is awesome. To be the size of community we are, to have 2 agents is really fantastic. And we have 2 very hardworking agents who do a great job.
And the lady on the other day, or a little while back.
They're very good at what they do. But that's not what we all do at the Extension office, which I think a lot of people think that we do. They all think we do 4-H. But we actually have an agriculture agent. So if you ever need farm help, that's where you can go to Ron. Then we have a horticulture agent. So if you have a garden or a yard or a tree that's dying or anything like that, you talk to Robbie. And then I cover family consumer sciences.
Well, one of the things that under consumer sciences, one of the first things I think of when I think of what you do is just basically nutrition. And I know nutrition comes under family consumer sciences. And what all is family consumer sciences sort of envelop?
That is a loaded question.
We're here for a while.
Most people can relate it to home ec. It's all of the things that you learned in those type classes. So nutrition is the biggest component. We actually just hired a nutrition assistant, which is a wonderful thing. She started in January, and that's been a huge help to me. But I do other things. I do a lot of family finances, child development, sewing, all of those things that you learn in home ec that can help you have a sustainable home is under my realm. So.
Well, as I mentioned, nutrition, we may get back to that in a little bit. One thing you hit on there that I know I went to one of the classes when you were talking about developing this, and I thought it was a great idea, but it's hard to sell, and that's the family finance.
Yes.
Because all of us, there's not anybody out there that doesn't need help with their finances.
That's exactly
I don't care
right.
if you're making $10,000 a year or $100,000 a year, but you can go a long ways. I mean, you could stretch $1, and that's what you teach people how to do.
That's exactly right. The thing with budgeting classes is nobody likes to admit that they have a problem with their budget.
That's exactly right.
And so it's very hard to get people to come to classes like that. So usually that's whenever I have to go out and kind of advertise it a different way and then sneak some budgeting information in, because like you said, everybody deals with money, whether we want to deal with money or not.
Nobody thinks they have a problem.
That's right.
They think it's just an income problem or something.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's just a matter of knowing how to handle your money.
That's exactly right. You can survive, you can feed your family on a very low income. There are resources out there. There are ways to cut spending, and that's what we teach you how to do.
So I know what's your target audience, and I'm not saying as far as a particular type of person, but you mentioned home ec. Now, obviously, that's high school and sometimes grade school, but your audience is more the adults, right?
Right. Well, kind of what I joke about with family consumer science is every single person comes from a family. They all have money. They all need to eat. So literally every person is my clientele. I do things in the preschool. I do things, in the senior centers. And it just depends on how I teach it. But we all get the same information. We all need to eat well, spend our money well. Now, Abby, our new nutrition assistant, she does have a target audience, and that's low-income people.
Right.
But I work with every person in the community. So.
And when you talk about nutritionists, and I think this is something, and I'll be honest with you, I'm one of the biggest culprits of this because a few years ago I was diagnosed as diabetic. So all of a sudden I started taking nutrition a little bit more seriously because up to that point I didn't. I ate whatever junk food, it didn't make any difference to me. But the biggest thing that I found my problem was white bread, anything white. White bread, white pasta, white rice. I mean, so what is it that we should be really striving for, just a general nature?
Yeah, well, there's a new thing called MyPlate. Well, it's not really new anymore, but MyPlate is a very visual version of My Pyramid. It's much easier to understand, and the big thing that they stress is that half your plate should be fruits and veggies, and that half of your grain should be whole grains. So it's still okay to have those refined grains, the processed things with the white bread and white rice, but try to get a little bit of the brown rice, the whole wheat bread, that kind of
So
stuff.
does the fiber or whole grains, does that sort of offset the carbs, or is that just sort of a...
It's just better.
It's just better for you. It's just better. It fills you up so you don't
Yeah,
get as much
that's exactly
as the
right. It does have more fiber and just more nutritional content. And whole grains are just better for you in the long run. And so if you're going to eat the bread that's better for you.
Well, like I said, there's a lot of things you can learn about nutrition that people just don't know, because we all think we know. I mean, a lot of us think we go to get a Big Mac at McDonald's, we've had a healthy meal.
Yeah,
So you
unfortunately.
try to stay away from the fries and,
Right.
and the things of that nature. So is there different types of cooking that's better than others? I mean, I love just throw it on the skillet and fry it up.
Right. Yeah. Definitely baking, grilling, those kind of things, broiling, that kind of stuff is going to be better when you get to take out those oils and the butters and the breadings. That's obviously going to cut down on your calories, your fat content, all of that. Frying, unfortunately, breading and frying is probably going to be the worst.
Yeah.
But everything's okay in moderation. It's just kind of one of those scenarios that you can have fried chicken, just don't have fried chicken every night, And that's one of the things that I like about the way we teach in Extension is I'm never going to tell you to cut out a food.
Yeah.
Cut down on all your foods, and that's going to help a lot.
Okay. Well, I know we talked about one of the big controversies going on right now, and it's something that I've never really understood a lot, is the merits or non-merits of diet soda. I mean, some people say, drink a diet soda rather than a regular soda, but then you load up on diet soda, and that's got all kinds of weird stuff in it
Yes.
too that's not necessarily good for you.
That's right. I'm one of the proponents of drink the regular soda. Just because, and it's not because of anything, you hear all the claims that diet soda is bad for your brain, that kind of stuff. The reason I say it is because regular soda is going to have real sugar, whereas diet soda has the sweeteners. And your body, real sugar is a natural product. And so your body knows how to process that. Whereas the artificial sweeteners that are in diet sodas are man-made. And so that's unnatural to your body, and they don't know how to process it as well. And so it takes more thinking for your body to do, and that's not a good thing usually. So.
Okay, well, like I said, sugar is natural. I mean, it's been well, I mean, it's something we talked about before we come in here a little bit, and I know that's something that's not necessarily into what most people look at as a consumer science, but I know you mentioned you do some classes even on bullying and things like that. Now, how does that fit in? Is that more like a family type oriented thing?
Yeah, just kind of the goal of my job is to help a family run smoothly. And if there is disruption in your family, you're not going to be running smoothly. And sometimes that disruption is just the fact that your child is bullied or your teenager is bullied. And so that is something that we do address, and just how to handle it as a parent. Because we talk to the kids a lot about, if you see a bully, step up, say something, that kind of stuff. But one thing that I think gets neglected is the parents. And if you're the parent of a bullied child, that's hard to handle.
What if you're the parent of a bully?
And that's sometimes even harder to handle because nobody likes to admit that their child's a bully.
Yeah.
But every bully has parents.
Yeah.
So, and so that is one thing we approach it that way sometimes is we talk to the parents about what to do.
Okay. Now, the Extension office is part of the University of Kentucky.
We are.
So basically, is that when you take a class, say at Nelson County, is that pretty much the same class you're going to get in, say, Washington County or Marion County, or are you all tailored for each part of the state?
We are. I think that's the unique thing about Extension is that there's one of us in every county, but we all do what our county needs. So I may teach bullying, and there may be another county who's never taught bullying before because it's not something that they need in their county. And I think that the other beauty of it, UK gives us kind of packaged programs. But then we have the freedom to figure out how we're going to teach it, who we're going to teach it to, and the little things like that. So it'll be a little bit different in every county, but you're going to get the same information, and it's always research-based. That's the beauty of Extension. You know that the information you're getting is research-based, solid information.
And I guess that leads me to, I know I was in a planning class several months ago in Extension, and they were talking about the different classes you're thinking about offering. How do you come up with them? Do you pretty much do research in the community and say, okay, I think this is a problem? Or do people call you and say, why don't you have a class on this? This is something that really affects us. How do you go about that?
Both. It's probably more 60-40 on people call us the most and say, we're having this issue, can you please address it? Whether through giving them information with a pamphlet or through coming and teaching a program. And then once we fill up those, then we do seek out certain things. We do needs assessments. We listen, we keep our ears open all the time for what we know is going on. I try to keep up on Facebook and in the paper, and see what the issues are that people are maybe writing editorials about or something like that, and then address those issues that way.
Yeah, I remember about a year or so ago, we had a meeting, and mental health obviously was right there at the top of the list, because I think it said just about everything else stemmed from mental health issues, and I know that's something you all have addressed as well. So what kind of classes do you have coming up? Anything soon that we
do.
you'll be interested in?
With spring coming up, I know spring cleaning is a big thing, and a lot of people worry about the chemicals in their home with spring cleaning, and so we are doing next Wednesday at 5:30, we are doing a make your own cleaning supplies class. Using things that you have at home, the baking soda and the vinegar and that kind of stuff. It's much cheaper, much better on the wallet, which we tie in the family finances there, that's right. And then it's going to be a lot less chemicals. Plus you can make, if you just have one spot, sometimes you need a $10 cleaner to clean that one spot, and you're never going to use that cleaner again. And so you can make the amount that you need, clean the spot, and move on. So we're doing that next Wednesday at 5:30. $5 to attend, but you get to take 2 samples home. And then the Friday after that, the 27th, we have 2 All-Pro Dad programs, which they're in the schools. I think they are an incredible program. We're doing them, they're at 7 a.m. It's a breakfast and bonding day with dads, or a dad figure. Yeah. It doesn't have to be the father. But they come to the school, they watch a video. There's a male teacher who facilitates and does a wonderful job. We're doing it at Foster Heights and at New Haven next Friday. And it's just some time. You start out the day talking about the dads say why they're proud of their kids. And I had one kid come up to me, and he said, "I've never heard my dad say why he was proud of me." And that, that's when you're doing a good job. And so that made me realize that program was worth it. And those have had awesome attendance, and they've been really good. So I'm excited about those 2. And then that night, we're actually having a family movie night. So free, you don't have to spend any money to go to the movies. Just come to our office, and we'll watch Monsters University and have some popcorn.
Well, obviously the hardest part, and we're doing it right now, is getting the word out to people that you're available, and how they can get in touch with you and to take advantage of in many cases, like you said, a free service, and if not, it's a nominal cost.
Right.
So it's a service that's provided in every single county in the state of Kentucky, and it in many cases goes unused but we want more people to use it.
Definitely.
That's the point. So I know you put out a newsletter.
Yes, we do. We are actually, all of us in our office, we all have a newsletter. We have a website. We have Facebook. I have Twitter. I think Robbie has Twitter too with horticulture. And so we do try to use our different avenues. We go on the radio, we go on TV, but it is hard because everybody gets their information in a different way.
Yeah.
And so trying to keep up with technology and figure out how people are getting their information is a challenge for sure. And as busy as we are, we would definitely love to even be busier, because our goal is to reach every person.
So if somebody wants to get a hold of you tonight, they see this show and they say, I think I'd like to be interested in something going on, or maybe they've got a suggestion for something you should be teaching. How do they get a hold of you?
They would call our office. That's the easiest thing to do, 502-348-9204. And then you can go on our website, which is nelson.ca.uky.edu. And all of our programs are there. All of our emails are there. You're welcome to email us at any time. And so we try to answer, everything that we get and address it. So.
And you're located down on South 3rd Street in the Civic Center, so somebody just wanted to drop in and ask questions. And I know you got tons of pamphlets there. I mean, I've gone walk through several times, and it's I'm always picking up some just to see what you got
always
going
something
on.
New out there.
So is there anything else going on we need to know about right away, or are we?
If you are into, for Robbie, if you are into edible landscapes, he is doing a class at the Bloomfield Library this Thursday at 5 o'clock. And that's a free one again, because we do try to have all of our classes for free.
Edible landscapes. Okay.
Yeah. So ties in the nutrition part.
A lot of people don't even like my garden. I don't get them at them eating my ferns.
Yeah, but Robbie does a great job, and that will be a really interesting class,
good.
I think. So.
Well, Dana, we appreciate you being here. And like I said, maybe we'll get you back on more often whenever something new comes up, or you got something else you want to get out to the world. And again, it's a service that's provided to you. And again, most of the time at low cost or no cost, and something you may want to check out, whether it's family finances or learn how to cook nutritionally for your family, or several other things they've got out there. Like I said, I look through that calendar every now and then. I'm really amazed at some of the stuff you have going on
we
up
stay
there.
busy.
Well, I think for years everybody thinks, it's an agriculture thing, or like I said, 4-H, but people just don't understand it. It goes into far beyond that. So appreciate what you're doing, and thank you for being here today. We'll be back here in a few minutes on Community Focus. Stick around, a lot more to come.